And some of the team fights were messy as well, right? And for a team that spent enough time playing together, I think it's you expect a higher level of coordination. Certainly for most guys, they have a lot more time together spent as a 5-stack. And we'll see if we get to see that today, as we're now in a picks and bans. Normal drafts. Ratones chose blue side. KCB chose second pick.
Yeah, I don't think the boss is ever going to get Zaahen at any point in time in his existence at this LEC Versus.
No, which is sad. But respectable, because KCB, you have to feel like this is their best opportunity to win. It's a similar story for Los Ratones, so we'll see how the team shade up. Baus, picking a champion.
It's not allowed to start with A. Just so you know.
Okay.
It's banned. Because there's no Z. I don't want a Z. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, deep cut. Extreme reference, maybe. I didn't know.
No.
Ryze for Nemesis. All right, solid pick, comfortable. Versus Orianna, maybe?
Oh, you're on board. You're on point. I don't know how you could have ever predicted this.
Maybe Azir? Nope.
I like the Orianna because I think she works really well with a ton of junglers at the moment. Plus the fact that you get to outrange the Ryze and a lot of the mid lane trades makes it just very, very strong in the matchup. And now you got Yunara, so already KCB setting up for a very strong plays through that those team fights. Yeah. And also, I think Kamiloo just had a really good game yesterday on the Talia, at least to start things off. So hoping he can keep that form up here against Los Ratones.
Yeah, really solid movement, a lot of playmaking. Now Orianna notably lacks the CC that Talia does at earlier stages of the game, but from Kamiloo, I think really good look. And excellent for a guy who, maybe didn't anticipate being on this KCB roster. Obviously was in LEC last year, had a bit of a rough go of it. Now on this KCB lineup has a chance to prove himself here in Versus. And they're playing the Rekkles song in...
Of course.
One of
Do you want to sing it?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Wait, this is Crown. Never mind, this is the Rekkles. Whatever. It's fine. This is the only one that wasn't about Rekkles in the emo era. Anyway. Corki, Ryze, very standard duo. And again, Velja back on the J4. No Pantheon. Liking the J4. But again, if you're struggling in the team fighting department, I feel like J4 does simplify it a lot.
It also is kind of just good against the two champions that are locked in the opposite side. Like, sure, Yunara gets a dash with her ults, but Orianna doesn't have that luxury, and if you can burn that dash early in the fight for Yunara, she makes her significantly more vulnerable. So I think already, Los Ratones have decent setup when it comes towards trying to play through that mid-jungle, trying to get that lockdown and try and burn some of these early flashes on Kamiloo. And if you don't, KCB, like, this is a terrifying team fight with a ton of AoE damage they're setting up for.
That they are. Again, we might be in a situation where there's a bit of a scaling discrepancy. Ryze, of course, scales fantastically, but generally can get to a position where if he's not in the sidelines, he has to full 5v5, doesn't always have the range to hit the target that he needs to. Can be a similar story for Corki, as Braum is now banned away, Nautilus following, both sides just trimming the support pool.
Yeah, I mean, the Braum obviously setting up there to say, hey, we want to take something like an Alistar, we want to go for that heavy engage and just not have you block all of it, because at least on Los Ratones side, they already have that Jace to provide that engage, but Wukong definitely likes having someone that can follow up on his initial Cyclone to guarantee that second cast.
Yep. Nice to not be solely relying on the Wukong as well, because so much of his damage is Trinity Force procs.
Yeah.
It is cooldowns on the Q, not actually the Cyclone damage itself. So when you have someone else to follow through, you don't just have to keep spinning. Sets up for much better, much easier team fights. As Aatrox now gonna get taken away. What is the option? Kalista support. Heck yeah.
It probably means we're seeing something like an Ornn in the top lane for Tel, though. Like Aatrox, or sorry, for Baus, or at least something tanky in the top lane for Baus, because oftentimes it would be, the matchup into a lot of these tanks.
We're not supposed to talk about hovers. I'm just excited. Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense, having that safe kind of backup champion. It's difficult for me to know where Baus's head is at in terms of champ pool for LEC. We've seen one game so far, and it was the Kled. The Rekkles Nami. An option.
I don't mind it in this position.
Gives you a lot more control over bottom lane. This is going to be really tough for KCB to survive early game.
Also, then when you come into fights later on, like as Wukong dives in, wave to disrupt that follow-up.
Really good.
We were just talking about, I think is really nice, but okay. Here's the boss special. It's going to be the Volibear top.
There we go. All right, Tao. What have you got cooked up? What do you have prepared to go toe-to-toe with the Baus?
I actually don't know, because Volibear incredibly strong in the early laning phase. So do you try and just take something that's a little bit more even and just scale into late game? Or, oh, okay.
Yeah! Okay! Thank you! They buffed top lane so much, and all of the other top laners are playing the most boring things on the face of the planet. Finally. We had to go to EMEA Masters to find them, but top laners who will cook. Thank you, Tao. Thank you, boss. I'm ready.
I mean, Zaahen doesn't have the best of times in the early laning phase, so going up against the Volibear, definitely going to be a tough one. But if Tao can survive to that later portion of the game, he can absolutely pop off. But finally, we're getting some spice in these drafts. This is what we wanted to see.
100%. Thank you. And some potential for explosive early games. I think we will sort of be, our eyes at least will be laser locked on the top side of the map. Because it's hype, it's exciting, right? I'm curious to see how good Tao is, a player obviously promoted from, Div 2, and a guy who I think has a lot of potential up against Baus, who's a bit more of a known quantity. We haven't got to see him deliver on the stage quite yet. Some fist bumps there. Crazy that Ratones coached entirely by former casters in Cadril and Yamato Cannon.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know if that's a buff or a debuff. For our sake, I'm going to say
it's
hopefully a buff.
I mean, everyone knows that we are the smartest at the game.
True.
And that's why we never get any crap, ever.
That's true. The lesson we can all get behind. Well timed. Time to get in the game. KCB, Los Ratones. We have so many fans on both sides. The KCB fans notably more vertically inclined, much more keen to jump. The Los Ratones fans not afraid to match in volume, but not as keen on standing up, which I understand. The chairs are quite comfortable. But also, there's nothing to cheer for at the moment.
It's very catchy. I don't really understand what's being said, but yeah.
Now we will witness the true nature of LEC. Why are people?
I don't think
why do
anyone
people
wants
just
to see
roll up
that.
and type like subtitles from anime into our chat? Why is that what they do? All right. Early levels. Junglers, important. That was kind of what the analyst has talked about.
Yeah.
Yukino had a great day. Velja didn't really have the best day overall. But also, we do need to talk about bot lane just because we have this range support, something we were waiting to see. And it should be a position where Crownie and Rekkles can, especially at this level 1, start to take over.
Especially because it's kind of similar to the way you play Nami with Lucian, right? You have the ability as Crownie to Valkyrie in, go aggressive, as Hazel tries to look for some of these CSs, thanks to the the E from Rekkles. So already you can see just getting a ton of pressure on this bottom side, and this will continue. And then when you look at KCB, for me, they are a team that pops off at level 6. Wukong, Orianna, Alistar, even Yunara, all of these are champions that really get a massive spike when they get access to those ultimates. So for Los Ratones, I want to see them get active early. I want to see Velja making plays around the mid, burning flashes on Kamiloo, repeat ganking, trying to make things uncomfortable for Tao in that top side. Like, really get active in this early stage and make it uncomfortable for KCB before they hit those ultimate breakpoints.
Yeah, and with this Ryze in the mid lane, you saw an attempt at this kind of early gank, but you do have pretty solid setup onto Kamiloo if you can find that angle for the quick rune prison. Top lane as well. Bot lane with the bubble is a little bit tougher, but the lane matchup strong enough might not matter, as Rekkles and Crownie have shoved this wave forward. Hazel and Prime will probably just expect to chill until at least level 3, but their health bars are in pretty good shape, so haven't lost out too much in these first few levels.
This is not the gank I expected.
Going mid! Oh! This is his entire death! He did the thing!
That's it! I was like, oh yeah, Velja's going to get into the mid lane, he's going to make it happen. And of course, why would it not be the Volibear that's in the mid lane?
I love it. It's like Adam's back in the league, man. Random level 3 game. What is this, like 2022 Fnatic? Anyway, Crownie now retreating. Hazel keeps the trade going, but creative little gank there from Baus. Now kind of using the fact that the home guards are there, ghosted into the mid lane gank, sprints back to top lane, won't lose out on too much here. And it has a blasting one, so feeling pretty comfortable. The passive, once he gets it stacked, is really going to start hurting.
Yukino's actually doing a good job in the jungle, though. Managing to get all of his camps, got the bottom scuttle, now using the pressure that Kamiloo has from TPing back into mid to go up towards his top side and steal away another crab as well. So already off to a decent start here against Velja just in the jungle matchup. So just keep our eyes, because Yukino was amazing yesterday for KCB.
That he was. Velja being behind on camps early, definitely not ideal, but just hasn't found an opportunity to go for the early ganks. Luckily, his top laner also is a jungler sometimes. Nemesis is going to do what he can to hold here. Quick proc on the crystalline overgrowth. So some damage there. As Rekkles and Crownie, this is a really good spot for KCB because while you would assume that the Corki and Nami are in a good position, look at those mana bars. They're empty. There's nothing there. So in the words of Tyler One, you don't have any mana.
I also just want to highlight how sick the top lane vision control for KCB is. Like, there is wards galore in that top side to spot it exactly what Velja is up to. And they will know now that Velja is moving back down towards his bottom side because they've just seen him clear out his Grom. So overall, KCB working with a ton of information this early stage, except for that one thing from the boss, you know?
Yeah, except for that one. Let's see. Again, waiting for Yukino once it's at level 6. Maybe some potential plays to be made. We're also 20 seconds away from the first Drake spawning. Team fights. It can go either way, right? So much of Velja's damage is the flag and drag. It's pretty much all of it. Nice bubble. Okay, Prime. Getting slowly walked down. I don't think anything's going to happen. Oh, canceled the back two. Okay.
Nearly.
That would have been the most feel-good moment for Rekkles if he managed to both land that bubble and then also cancel the refill. Instead, it's still pretty good, but you can see the gold essentially dead even in the bottom lane. Less of an advantage than I think that most Ratones would have liked to have, but credit to Hazel and Prime for holding their own.
So though, I want to see Velja again once more, kind of just getting active. Like, Tao has kind of managed okay against the boss on the top side, so he's just going to get to scale. Kamiloo still the same. So if Velja can try and get in and use the fact that Nemesis can like use Ghost, get the root, and then set up for a play, I think you have options. But Dragon up on the cards looks like it might be more of a focus here for KCB.
Be the case. Nemesis walking down to play through bot lane with the rest of his team really needs to be careful. Can't afford to face check vision going the other way. But luckily for him, KCB for that moment have shifted their attention to Scuttlecrab, so he will be able to just walk back into mid. Relatively calm sort of extended play around this objective as we get an all-in on the top side. Volibear, looks like he wins those, although ulti traded for ulti. It's a healing battle now, but the bear looks like he's coming out on top. However, the revive still there. Boss's health bar blinking. Zaahen back to half. So getting the the revive cooldown is good, but giving up your flash is going to make things tricky.
I was surprised to see Lost Ratones move up towards that top side to try and cover for the boss though, because you'd push in mid and push on bot. It could have been an opportunity for you to move in towards Dragon and contest the, River and contest Dragon, but it means that they end up losing out on the trade top, and they're losing bot here.
Nice in his engage, forcing Crownie's splash out as well. Good follow-up, good damage from Hazel. Does use the ulti. XP advantage for the KCB side. Lost Ratones bot lane is getting crushed in this matchup. Like, you can see the gold advantage, but the all-ins just are not even remotely close.
Yeah, and that's the flash and the heal burnt now on Rekkles. You still have all these summoner spells up. Hazel.
Crownie,
he
committing
has
barrier. Combo. Crownie, what? They didn't thought Prime was gone. Now he's going to lose the entire wave. They were still ahead. What?
But also, Hazel had the auto attacks, like he had access to his Q, which is where so much of the damage on Yunara comes from. Maybe Crownie thought he didn't have access to the mana that he needed to pop Q, but that was not going to work.
I'm going to be honest. Crownie was doing better. This Freakmaster guy, some missteps.
We need to look into him.
It's better if you laugh, then I look like less of a jerk, Rob. Don't mute your box when you laugh. You have to go down with me. We're going down together. KCB TPing. They already got the Drake. So as excited as we were for the boss early play for the 1v1 top side, Tao getting extra levels is big because Zaahen is so cooldown gated early on, and now Velja in trouble.
Oh, God.
Doesn't have the flag anymore. Yukino wants to keep the play going. Flash over the wall. Follow with the clone from Yukino. Another spin on the Cyclone.
He did.
Now down he goes. That's the solo kill. Los Ratones starting to crumble. Yeah. Hi, Mark. I'm sorry. I can read your... Why am I on the broadcast, he says. Well, you're the coach of the team, bro. You enjoy the coach cam reactions. Now you got to pay the piper. This boss and Tao going toe-to-toe.
But this is what I was talking about for KCB. The ability to, turn on a dime at level 6 and look for these fights, look for these engages is so incredibly strong. And a fair play to KCB, playing well around those opportunities. And I think this was the part that I was most nervous for when I saw how many roster changes were there. Because when you look at like Piero and Exa and how well they were able to play around Yukino on KCB and EMEA Masters, now coming into this stage, you had to try and find that synergy once more. And look at it, like it's all about Yukino and setting them up.
Yukino completely fearless here. Down to just 50-50, but doesn't even really have a smite to 50-50 with, so needs to bully them out as Kamiloo zoning with the ball. And I gotta say, we mentioned how important jungle was gonna be. Yukino absolutely dominating in the context of that 1v1 match. With Baus now going all in. That's the ulti from Tao. Baus maybe waiting for the guy to expire, but the damage, just too much. Tao with the solo kill.
Tao, you're going to have to cool us because the other Chinese Italian that did well went off to BLG, and we'd like to keep you in the LEC for a little bit. That's okay,
all right? LBL, stop stealing our Chinese Italians.
But that was sick, Tao. Popping off in the top lane. Like, he's doing fairly well for himself, and Zaahen with a lead is a terrifying champion.
And Baus had ulti, so I think he was trying to play on the edge there. Just didn't think he would get clipped. Obviously didn't have the flash. Tao still had his, so it just makes it so difficult because didn't even get that flash out. So Tao will still be able to flash away from the Baus' ultimate. Hasn't been able to finish the Dusk and Dawn either. And things are getting bad pretty quickly. The jungle discrepancy, the difference now in gold, and an impact thus far in the game very heavily favoring KCB. The bot lane advantage that we kind of expected with this Nami Corki has not really reared its head. So outside of that first play from Baus, nothing's really happened for Los Ratones.
And now it's going to be a minute until the next dragon. You're going to have all of your abilities up. You've hit some really strong item spikes with Yukino having that Triforce now available. Tao won't be able to match. He did end up stopping off for a little bit for the healing reduction. So, I mean, at the moment, KCB just gets to continue to play through this early game that's gone so well.
And the proxy. God, it's like we're watching him stream.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, he did some new Masters and stuff too, so. It's a bit riskier, though, as Tao is, pretty hard to get away from. And very powerful. Ooh.
Yeah. To be fair, though, I mean, Baus, he got the wave, going to get to reset. Tao still has to go, so just get the tempo that he wants to on the reset. And if he can try and get out and make a play before this dragon spawns, maybe that's enough of a win on the proxy.
Yeah. Also has Dusk and Dawn now, and he only really had he didn't have the Sheen component yet either, so it's going to make the trades a lot better. Although once Tao is able to finish that Trinity Force, we'll kind of be right back in the same position that we were. You're paying attention mid lane. There's no one here to back him up, but a Realm Warp is on the way. Forces the flash out from Kamiloo. Small advantage for Ratones. Kamiloo going to have to play much safer in the coming fight, but KCB got the first strike. They're now on the road to get the second.
But it's pushing Baus, pushing mid, and Kamiloo actually might look for Nemesis here.
He's going in Shockwave Velja. Yukino's ult available as well. I know Velja does not have his. KCB 4-stacked on the objective. Top laner's the only ones not to participate. Crownie debating if they want to go in. Velja caught off to the side as the Drake goes down. Will flag and drag out. So LR didn't feel confident enough to pull the trigger, and I think rightfully so, because the key ultis were still available for the side of KCB, but it does mean that it's a bit of a spectator objective.
Yeah, the advantages that you would have liked to play through aren't there, but Nemesis.
Extra movement speed. Cyclone trying to get in range. Just clips him on the edge with the knock-up. A little bit premature on the ulti there.
But the call was Baus is missing, and Yukino knows it.
Flag, drag the Q, follow up, Thunder Rains from the sky. Yukino able to flash briefly, but it looks like Baus is going to finish him. It's the shutdown. Nemesis now in trouble. We'll be able to walk it off. Velja, on the other hand, needs to be ready to flag and drag initial interrupt. Baus wants to keep this going. Still has the extra help from the ultis. The Hen ulti coming in as well. Velja goes down. Nemesis solo. Prime wandering his way in. Rekkles with the extra healing to defend his mid laner. Baus going on a bit of a walkabout on the top side. KCB still coming out even in that trade, but Baus, I don't think he's walking away from this one. Oh, the heal is there. The Q flash, hand delivered back to Tao.
That could have been so much worse for Los Ratones, but Kamiloo had no mana to finish off the very low health Nemesis. But it's still a nice win for KCB. A 1.5k gold lead just over for them, and now Tao going to get some turret plates again. Like, this is a 3 kills ahead. Like, this is going to be a very terrifying top laner.
Yeah. And it's rough for Velja too, right? You want to make these big engages. You haven't been able to find an angle. Now you have to EQ into this ahead.
Yeah.
Here you see, this is the initial pick. Looks pretty good. Solid punish, recognizing the ulti is no longer available.
And I thought KCB understood that, hey, Baus is missing, which is why they didn't continue on the immediate play. But Velja then sticking around, hoping to steal. Wasn't expecting Prime to show up. And again, Tao, so much damage in these fights. Nemesis already taken off. He's just got to try and get out of there. And only the fact that Kamiloo had run out of mana means that he wasn't able to finish off Nemesis as he tried to make his way through that choke point.
Yeah. KCB continuing to extend their influence here into the bottom side jungle of Los Ratones. Velja falling further and further behind in terms of overall CS. The Crownie at least has a bit of a gold lead. So consistent. The farm department. Let's make a bit of a difference as Red has now been stole away, and Yukino is so annoying. Credit to him. Constantly stealing, finding these little edges, finding these little advantages. Now it's pretty hard for Crownie to walk up. Hazel, the threat of the all-in with the ultimate. Very real. Is Baus not afraid to continue trading despite being down 2 levels. Ulti there. Healing. Is going to escape, gets pulled back. He's going to die.
And I don't think that's a good one.
Nope.
But here we go, Velja.
Now might be in trouble in the meantime. Yukino, they're trying to cut him down. Velja wants to finish the kill desperately, but Yukino is still alive. Nemesis and Rekkles on the way out.
I mean, Los Ratones just disjointed.
Yeah, I mean, credit to KCB. We saw early in coordination really be there against KC yesterday, and it wasn't just a flash in a pan. They have kept that train going. They're looking pretty controlled here.
Honestly, they look legit. Like, I really like the way we were seeing, like, Yukino and Prime link up together, how they're going for invades, Kamiloo supporting them on a lot of these plays as well, and Hazel, like, we haven't had a huge amount of looks down towards that bottom side, but while all these shenanigans have been going up to the top, he was like 1v1ing Crownie, getting more position onto that bottom side, pushing Crownie out of the lane. So, like, across the board, KCB are doing fantastic, and we haven't even discussed the 4-0 top lane.
Crownie able to connect to the big one or auto. Clear if that was a rocket and a Triforce proc, but he did a whole heck of a lot of damage. Hazel needs to be careful. Objective bounties are up, so an angle for Los Ratones to get some of this gold back. Crownie trying to make the most of having Rekkles beside him, empowering him with the Imperial Mandate to connect on this damage, but Prime fishing for an angle. You can see Yukino hovering as well. Trying to be really careful.
I think we're just going to look at a play on the bottom side for KCB instead. Do you want to trade it for the Rift Herald? Nemesis all on his own. But I don't think Kamiloo has enough damage right now to try and finish off Nemesis if they go for the dive.
Nemesis clearing the wave. They're on the way down, but again, the vision is very consistent around their side laners. You got to say, Tao provided a little bit less now that he's so far ahead, but good diligence on making sure that Kamiloo can stay safe. That's it. If he over pushes this wave, things could go bad.
He's just going to back away. I think the plan for KCB there was, hey, if Los Ratones, with the position they have, go for Rift Herald, we can shift from mid down into that bottom side and look for a potential dive with the vision Prime had just set up. But because Los Ratones end up feeding down to that bottom lane to cover the play, it means that now KCB are able to use these pushing waves to get for Dragon, and Los Ratones haven't really managed to trade for anything on the map.
No, I haven't. I mean, it's difficult when you're so far behind in terms of overall pressure. You can see Baus trying to win out on the 1v1. It will hold the tower for a little bit longer. Tao has overcommitted a bit, doesn't have access to the flash, does have access to the ignite. This is an opportunity to turn. The passive is not stacked. This should just be the quick kill for the Baus. Tao, tunnel vision on the tower, and it's going to cost him, but it's Prime with the 3-man! Instantaneous. The way to disengage is just too late. KCB find a slightly better fight, but it's Los Ratones who take the objective. And it's only Rekkles who drops.
It looked good, but you don't have the damage there yet. Kamiloo only on an item and a half, and Hazel not in a position to really burst through Los Ratones. So Baus coming in clutch with the top lane play and delivering himself to cover the bot side as well.
Exactly what they needed.
Again, great engage from Prime. The shockwave is there, but look at the health bars. Like, it doesn't really disappear that quickly, and Hazel is trying to do what he can, but with the Baus able to TP in off of reset, the numbers advantage for Los Ratones makes it tough. But Velja under pressure, and so is that top tower.
That it is. Kamiloo takes it out now. Nemesis needs to make it away. Pretty confident there's no shockwave, as he just saw at the previous fight, but it was only a few seconds off being able to lock him down. Real EU crowd experience, true. Shout out to the blue wall and the... Los Ratones, do you guys call yourself the Rats?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good. That makes sense. It's not something you want to call someone unless they ask you to call it, you know?
KCB fans, though, still very happy, and they should be. I mean, 3.5k, nearly 4k gold lead. Now you got Rift Herald in tow. Pressure in towards mid, crack that tower open, and the vision control that Prime has been enabling to keep this Orianna safe has been great. And again, Kamiloo had his experience in the LEC, so definitely having picked up a few of those lessons, and you can see it now when he's playing with KCB.
Yeah. Fiend Hunter Bolt's now also completed for Hazel. Overall, the position that KCB find themselves in, incredibly comfortable. 3 grubs, 2 drakes, almost 4,000 gold in the lead. You're kind of waiting for a couple slip-ups or a misstep to give Los Ratones an angle back in, because while Baus did find that kill on the top side, I think more to do with Tao overcommitting and Baus being there to punish. Los Ratones can need a little bit more in the tank before they can really make those proactive plays themselves. Next objective is Baron at 10 seconds, but I don't think either side wants to go for it. And the Baus looks like he has been caught out.
Yeah, I don't know if he has, though. I mean, you've got the Zaahen who resets to cover top side, and you're not really getting much. So Nemesis just getting some free plates on this top side of the map. KCB kind of dropping the ball a little bit here in this mid game.
Tao trying to go all in. Nemesis ready to sidestep if he has to. Ruka to connect. The initial pullback is there. Tao still chasing. Nemesis just fast enough to get away. Crucially there. Doesn't even have to use the ghost.
Yeah, but at least if your Nemesis is able to go toe-to-toe against Tao by constantly pushing out this wave, it does mean that that big threat of this Zaahen is nullified to a certain extent. You can try and play around the boss and Crownie elsewhere. We'll have to see if that is going to be the plan as Prime. A little bit far forward.
Celestial opposition already popped. Fortunately, ulti out as well. Has just been completely caught out. Good realm warp to punish. But now Baus needs to escape here. He's done the Thunder to try and escape. Rift Herald summoned here. Probably tap.
Prime was trying to cheat tempo there by not waiting for the mid to be pushed out before he went for vision, and rightfully punished by Los Ratones, especially with Yukino on the opposite side of the map. So you don't really get the tower as Baus is able to clear out the wave and the Rift Herald, and you got the kill, and Los Ratones are starting to get vision on the top side. So KCB still have the gold lead, but definitely giving opportunities to Los Ratones.
That they are. Hazel waiting off on the side. Bit of an initial slow here. Velja doesn't really like his chances as they see Zaahen, Tao starting to move down. Unfortunately for Los Ratones, they don't have any healing reduction yet, and that is double Sundered Sky on the Wukong and Zaahen. So probably need to get some soon. The effective health to burst through on this KCB lineup is damn high. But a brief calm for the next objective. 45 seconds till Mountain. Soul point for KCB, they can see here.
And this time around, you've hit kind of very big breakpoints. Kamiloo having those 2 items, now a needlessly large rod as well, plus the Fiend Hunter bolts for Hazel, gives you those 3 quick auto attacks that do a lot more damage. So the burst potential, if we end up seeing something like that 3-man shockwave once again, is going to be very high for KCB. So Los Ratones, they kind of need to gather around mid, push out mid, set up vision. But unfortunately, with 15 seconds, they've run out of time and they're still in their own jungle. So KCB have a lot of windows to play with the vision as Los Ratones try and take it back.
Nemesis keeping the wave pushed up here. We'll get at least 1 play off this auto. He's going to be able to grab 2 in the end. Carrying through that tower, 160 gold for himself. Velja. The boss off on the side, but looks like they have now marked him. 6k, getting lower. Los Ratones have to be super careful. The boss already caught on side. Protobelt's away. Tao just chasing down. Velja going for the initial engage on a Kamiloo, trying to force out an early shockwave. And down goes the Ori. Now it's Nemesis on the flank. Hazel in an excellent position to try and take over the fight, but he hasn't been able to get any damage down yet. Prime going in. Drake stolen. Crownie manages to get it. That's the Freak Master in the midst of the fight. I don't know what he's doing, but it's starting to get freaky. KCB still trading down just a bit on the kills. It can't find the engage. Tao dropping as well. Los Ratones, I can't believe it, but they found a way.
It's a disaster for KCB. Kamiloo front lines, which immediately Velja punishes. And from there, the team fight is all going the way of the Rats. Kamiloo should never have been on the front line here. So many members of KCB are being distracted by the Baus. Velja gets back out over the sides, and by some miracle, Crownie steals the dragon in the midst of it. And KCB are trying to turn tail, but it's the Baus and Velja who are dealing with the Yunara in the back line.
Wukong.
Kamiloo, always smiling, even through the pain. That Drake secure is big, buys more time for Los Ratones to get a few items in the belt. 3 items now for Crownie, who was able to make the miracle steal happen. Yukino, a rare misstep. Still a 2K individual gold lead for him, but missing out on that smite is devastating.
I mean, he did his job there.
He did.
The fact that he pulled both Prime and Tau to deal with them was what gave that opening, so...
And I think that when you have the Orianna, Alistar, Wukong, it is important to attack them in the setup. Like, if you can find a kill or a pick on the Kamiloo before the fight breaks out, it's excellent. And he isn't in a position to buy a Seekers right now. Presumably building towards it. Nemesis grabs the tower and the gold gets closer and closer. But this is a pretty even game. I would say scaling, I don't know how you feel. I think scaling still probably favors KCB in the long run, but Crownie able to finish that 3rd item does mean that he's quite scary.
It's just more of a, how do KCB play it? Because I think if you do play for, oh, hang on, Velja? He's out.
Nope. Whoa, what out? He was in.
Did he click out?
He must have clicked out. No, now Crownie's gone too. He's been picked up.
Lads, what are you doing? Lads, it's in front of Baron! And you lost your tier 2 of boss!
I mean, Mark asked me yesterday if I could hype his team up, and that last play I was hyped, but that was rough. 2 back-to-back picks. 1 misclick, 1 misstep. 2 champions dead, and now KCB get a Baron, well earned to punish, to find those angles. Yukino constantly on the hunt. Los Ratones caught asleep at the wheel. That's devastating.
I mean, this felt like it was their moment to come back into it, but Velja getting caught. I would need to see what happened, because by all instances, Velja should be in this. He clicks out. He clicks out trying to get away from Yukino.
Yeah.
And then here, like, there is no reason for Crownie to be going in here. I don't know what he was thinking here.
Los Ratones losing themselves in the moment. Not something you want to see with a team who has so many veteran players. Nemesis, Crownie, Rekkles, all a ton of competitive experience, but didn't really have mid prio. Had top prio for a moment. I think Velja a little too keen to steal away some camps to get himself back into the game, and the whole team commits to play, and credit to them, they commit together, but they overcommit. And now that glimmer of hope, went from a 4K lead from KCB to a dead even game, now back to 3,000 in their favor with the Baron empowering them.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse. Like, you're going to lose the entire topside jungle here. The Zaahen can continue to push in the mids. And then this top lane tier 2, I don't think lasts particularly long. Defending this is going to be tough, because either you lose this top lane structure or your mid lane goes to town.
X-Flash over the wall, might be both. Prime, initial engage on Velja, looking pretty solid. Flag and drag out for Velja. Prime caught up a good bubble to keep him locked up, and the tower's still standing as Tau breaks down the mid lane tier 2. The Baus pulled a little bit back by the shockwave. Hazel ulting as well. And now KCB retreating, but again, it's Tau in the mid lane. The solo split push threat will finally be forced back by Nemesis, but at least a tower taken down. The gold lead extends for KCB as Los Ratones do their best to hold the line.
Yeah, and maybe you get another wave out of this as KCB if you want to. So can actually get in towards that top side, I think. It looks like they're just going to move down mid. I mean, 20 seconds until Mountain is going to be their main focus, and Nemesis has to be so careful here.
That he does. KCB have been so good about finding these picks, and Los Ratones have been making a few mistakes in terms of how they're moving around the map. This fight will be big, though. 8 seconds on the objective. Los Ratones an angle to play through bot lane as they have the wave pushed up already.
This has to be more patient from KCB, though. Play for the chokes, which is kind of what they're doing here. Make it difficult for Los Ratones to find multiple flank angles. And Los Ratones now stepping up in front of KCB. This is much more difficult to play.
Haven't quite marked Tau yet. The Baus being realm warped into the backline. Flash in from Yukino. Crownie split from the fight initially, but still able to lay down a couple of auto attacks. Nemesis completely split out. Needs to get away from Tao. He's fast enough, but the Baus is getting taken down in the meantime. Tao single-handedly splitting the fight, forcing Nemesis away. KCB standing strong. The Baus caught once again. The Dark Englaive just continues to find him. Volibear doing his best to run a slow there, connecting. But here comes Prime once again, so good on finding the angles. Down goes the Baus. Drake to the side of KCB in the fight to boot.
Yeah, you could tell Lost Ratones understood how they needed to play the fight. Realm warping Baus to the other side. But KCB, they're using this massive Zaahen so well. And like, look at how this fight, immediately everyone just dives onto this bottom side. Baus is trying to play catch up. Hazel patience on the flash's way, having Yukino peel for him so well, whereas Tao just keeping everyone out of the fight. Crownie can't get down onto any of the key carries. Trying to go for a steal.
They go to 1 HP.
We're kind of close, but the fight's still going to KCB.
Yeah. And overall, it just feels like KCB have been the more stable team the entirety of the game. The Corki Nami combo not getting the advantages that I think Los Ratones were hoping for. We got a really creative first gang from Baus and a good punish topside. But outside of that one dragon fight, where they were able to steal the Drake, where they were able to find some of those kills and even it up, it's just been all KCB. Which honestly, good on KCB.
Yeah.
You know, this was the rematch, but it was a rematch where it didn't feel like there was a lot of skin in the game because it's almost an entirely new roster. But this entirely new roster, despite the very limited amount of time they have spent together, are putting the hurt.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be eyes on some of these guys after performances like this. Like Tao looking great today. Yukino has had an absolute blinder the entire weekend. And Kamiloo's been sporting well. Prime has looked fantastic too. Like KCB, they've had like facing off against the sister team yesterday and now Lost Ratones, like they're kind of making themselves get noticed, you know?
I've seen 2 games of Yukino. I don't know if he's ever making it back to ERS. That would not surprise me. We're going to the mid-season transfers. If KCB are interested, of course. Selling him, moving him along. But for now, still in the midst of this game. As the lights go off, the tension builds.
Maybe it's the dynamic lighting we need. When you lose vision, we change all the lighting.
True.
The KCB are just playing it slow. They know they got the time. They're just going to continue to shove in these waves. Baron in 30 seconds. Great. Let's just establish all the vision that we need. Keep Lost Ratones in their base, making it impossible for the Nemesis to finish off this Rabadon death cap. And sweep over towards the objective. Now, there is a very clutch ward into the back. You just see it at the head of Wukong there in the minimap. That there is a potential for Baus to try and look for, like some sort of TP play, but we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. His TP's just about to come up.
Last flank didn't work out too well, but again, it's about finding that priority target. Kamiloo now has the Zanyas, so really difficult to get the one shot, but maybe in that 2.5 seconds where he goes golden, where he goes into stasis, those Ratones can force the fight. That said, they're very far behind on vision. They see the objective has been started. Kamiloo zoning the Orianna ball. Baus now forced to ulti away as Tao wants to keep the fight going. Will be forced to ult out.
But Rekkles followed up with the wave, so KCB end up kind of just trading ult for ult, and they end up with an advantage.
Yeah, I think worried about a follow-up commitment or thought they saw an angle of opportunity there. The tidal wave, maybe not fantastic, but Tao also was forced to ult out, so for Tao in some sense.
TP in behind Nemesis now, though. He's going to have to realm warp out of this.
Collapse is there, realm warp is there, flash forward, hoping for the shockwave. It is going to connect. Nemesis will get taken down. The damage potential from the Ryze is there, but he's just CC'd. 60 seconds down the death timer. We are 32 minutes into this game. KCB will grab another Baron, perhaps the final one of the game.
There's no contest from Lost Ratones. They just want to push in waves, get as much gold as they can, maybe get a place. But KCB with a second Baron and very little left when it comes towards turrets for Lost Ratones. It feels like this should be the base getting cracked by the French.
Yeah, I mean, it's French workout. The French, hell yeah. KCB did not expect this level of Wampa Stomp, but here we are.
Yeah.
And again,
genuinely, I'm really impressed.
I mean, Yukino is the story. Everyone has played their part.
Yukino!
Ah, the no and Yukino. I see. Follow for Prime. Oh, God, did we just cast or curse them? I was about to praise Prime. Follow from the Baus. He thinks that's his time to go in. I still don't know if this is a great fight. Turning it back again. The W is crucial on the bite there. Baus doing a lot of damage, but the chain CC is there. Can't quite get the shield down. Crownie now gonna be in trouble. Decent tidal wave, but CC immune is Tau. Dashes right through the Cataclysm. Finds the kill. Nemesis now running away.
Mountain Soul available for KCB.
Comedy of errors.
Yeah.
Prime whiffed. Yukino whiffed. KCB still won. And that's the power of a wallet gap, I think.
I hope this encourages people to play more Zaahen. Because this champion is sick.
It looks so pretty good.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, whiff, and then unfortunately for the Baus, ends up jumping up, which means that KCB are able to kind of corral Lost Ratones away from being able to support their top laner. So KCB finish off the Baus, and the follow-up is there. Tau buffering the CC so well.
And KCB calms in the fight. Feel, again, really good for a team that was so recently created. This is the instant turn on the flanker to collapse on the boss. If they wait longer, he does enough damage to find at least one kill there. But the immediate collapse, recognizing the position of the train that Los Ratones can't really follow if they choose that angle, means that fight just goes even more in their favor. Now they've got a Mountain Soul, they've got a 10k gold lead.
All this has proven to me is that we never should have gotten rid of sister teams, you know?
True. We need two
Proof is in the
M-Boys.
pudding.
2 G2s. Maybe not 2 Fanatics, but, you know, maybe.
Why are you just randomly lashing?
Sometimes you gotta fire strays. Yesterday was
Oh,
one
we have to get Sam Matthews to tweet about the bingo board.
about the bingo board.
Yeah.
Yes.
That does make sense.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's my plausible deniability right there. KCB, this should just be a victory lap. This is.
It is completely.
There's no. There's no money.
Like, what do you do?
I don't know. Go all in on the Hex Flash, I guess. Celestial Opposition popped. It might be something.
Yeah, it's just four members of KCB kind of just do what they want.
Shockwave's nothing.
Okay.
And Tau doesn't participate.
Okay.
Most Chinese win a fight. 100%.
I think it's fair. And they get Hazel. That's also
yeah. It's still a close fight.
And here we go.
They found Hazel. They've knocked up Hazel. Another piece of CC will hit Hazel, but no damage is hitting the Yunara. Prime re-engaging on the Baus. The Baus now in trouble. Quick stun back. Both sides just running back and forth, but it's another super wave. Both Ratones don't really have time to move back to Fountain. Crownie hasn't been able to find an angle of attack, but Hazel's ulti is now faded. Surely if there was a time, the time is now. Kamiloo Stone Cold, though, still has access to the Shockwave, waiting for the perfect moment. Yukino rooted. A lot of damage coming in from Nemesis the Baus.
Oh my god.
Goes in on Ryze. Tau a lot of damage. CC immune in the midst of the entire team. They're going to burn it down before he gets the revive. Crucially, Baus off to the side. Might be able to make the difference. That's the exhaust, but KCB not going to falter. Baus going right back in. Hazel going to delete him. Holy stack now on the queue as Yukino is spinning in the back line, but it's going to cost him his life. KCB set. I set on the objective. One more auto. Crownie manages to kill him. If they kill Kamiloo too, they have a chance. One more auto onto Kamiloo. They're running. KCB wants the wave in. He goes, oh no, Kamiloo, that's not it. Goes on the flash. He gets him. The timing is off. The Zanyas. They don't have the damage. KCB.
Rekkles still wishing he was an AD carry right now.
An insane finish to an otherwise essentially flawless game from KCB. I mean, there were a lot of flaws, a lot of missteps in that game. It was messy, but KCB, the cleaner team, for the vast majority. And credit to them, they showed good stuff yesterday against their sister team. They showed even more against Los Ratones today.